Hello everyone, happy Friday evening. I just thought I'd pop by and create a little quick video. I was actually getting things ready for my workshop tomorrow and I just thought I'd come along and create something simple. So I'm not going to create anything too complicated. I've got my 5x7 gel press. It doesn't matter if you use a larger, a smaller or whatever gel press, it doesn't make any difference. Whatever you want to use, you can use a small circle one, small square one, whatever you wish. And what I'm going to use is I'm going to use my leaf stamp. Just trying to think if I've actually got the packaging. I don't think I have. So we've got my leaf stamp, which you can see here. So we've got my leaf A7 one. Just trying to think what that's actually called. So I know sometimes you like to know. So I'm now looking back on all my files just to see if I can find that for you. Just see if it'll, of course, it wouldn't crop up immediately, you know, when you're looking for something. Let's have a look through. Have I gone too far? There we go. It's actually called Open Leaves and it's stamp set 557. So I'm using that and I'm actually going to use my newly released House of Butterflies. I'm going to use that one as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something very simple. So first of all, I need a spare piece of card. So just grab a spare piece of card here on the side. And what I'm going to do is I've got picked raspberry and ripe persimmon. I love these colours together and I just thought it'd be fun just to create something nice and simple. So I've got the ripe persimmon on my brayer and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ink up the whole of the gel press. I might not use the whole of the gel press, but that doesn't matter. But just inking the whole of the gel press, and then I'm just going to remove the excess. As you can see, there's a fair bit of ink on that brayer, so I'm just removing that ink. Just going to go over a few more times. So, and there's probably still a fair bit of ink on that brayer, and what I'm going to do now is pick up the picked raspberry. I love the picked raspberry colour. I love them together. So I don't want to overpower everything. So I'm just going to, you see, I can use this piece of card afterwards to stamp the houses on. Now just make sure that you clean your brayer, because believe it or not, even though I've brayered over onto that card, there's still a lot of ink on that brayer. So just give it a good wipe over, especially that I'm going to be using it tomorrow for my workshop, so just give that a good clean over. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this stamp and I'm going to bend it like this, and what I'm going to do is just add some impressions here and there just on the gel press. So I'm not using the whole stamp, I'm just using parts of it, just parts of that. Now if I just lift that up, I'll see if I can see. I can't see anything, so I have no idea. So what I'm going to do now is grab another piece of scrap card. I've usually got some scrap card, she says, in all my pile. Then what I can do is I should be able to spritz that with water. So spritz my stamp with water. And I should be able to get another background. So I've got part of another background, as you can see, that I can use on there. So I'm just going to wipe that clean. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a slight misting to the gel press. Nothing much at all. So a slight misting to the gel press, and I normally place my gel press onto an acrylic block, but I'm not doing that this time. What I'm going to do is just place it over. I can't actually see because my packaging is dirty, so we'll just place that on the top. So just place the card and just give a little bit of a rub. I do love using the Distress Oxides on my gel press. It's just nice and easy just to create a background. And can you see you've got a lovely background? Oops, whoops. It's nice and rich, and it's got those leaf prints in the background. Perfect. Absolutely perfect to bring some life to my design. And what I'm going to do is just give that a spritz with water, because obviously it's those oxide inks, so it can still react. So I'm just spritzing that with water, so it'll still react, and you can spritz as much or as little water as you wish. I've got some kitchen roll here that my son bought. I normally buy plain white kitchen roll. No, my son bought one with a pattern on. That's just what he does. So it's just reacted a bit more, and also what happens is it blends the colours a little bit more as well. So we can just let that dry. Now, do I want to add some other detail? You see what I'm thinking now? We've got those leaf prints in the white. Can you see there? And I might just add some leaf prints. Let's see if they show up with the oxide. So just ink the stamp with the oxide inks. So I've used the right persimmon. I'm just going to wipe the edges because I don't want no straight lines. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And I'm just going to see if it will show up. It doesn't matter if it doesn't show up. At the end of the day, it's a background, and yes, it does. Look at this. So you're creating a lovely little background, and I really like that. So we're just going to ink that up again. So what I'm trying to show here is that your stamps don't have to be just used as they're shown. You can use them in different ways. So just curl your stamp up and then press. So just curl it up and then press, and you just get a little part. But can you see? You can see the leaf underneath, and you can see a little part of the leaf on the top. So now we'll just add some of that pink. Let's see if the pink will show up. So we then go and use the picked raspberry. So just stamp that picked raspberry, and I don't want to create too much of a complicated card. I want a card that's easily achievable for everybody. So I'm just going to ink this up again. Just remove that thing, the ink from around the edges, and just curl your stamp, and then look at the background you've created. Absolutely love it. So we'll just give that stamp a clean, like so. And what I'm going to do now, do I want a circle or do I want... You see, we've got this bit here, and I'm thinking, can we use it? Let's have a think. Let's have a think if we can use this little bit here as well. So, we could, couldn't we? We could use... So we could cut a circle out. So let's just draw around this circle. Whoops, that was straight. So let's draw around that circle, and then we're using this. So we'll cut this out. Means that we're using that bit that we had left over. that out. And never worry if you've got something that you think, well, that's not a perfect circle, it's not very well cut out, or you haven't done your best cutting out. All you need to do is just distress the edges. Distress those edges, then it looks like it was meant to be a little bit distressed. And then it doesn't matter if you haven't got perfect stamping. So what I'm going to do then is, I think I want my reckoner digits. So we've got my reckoner digits, stamp set 543. And I'm just going to pick up some of the ink. So the right persimmon. So let's take up that right persimmon. And we're just going to add some of these numbers just to create a little bit more on this background, just to give it a little bit more detail. Just a little bit more. And we'll add some of that picked raspberry, just so that we're following those colour schemes through. So I'm just inking the stamp very randomly. And just, what I'm trying to show is that you can pick your stamps up for 10 minutes and you can create a nice simple card quite easily. Let's just clean that stamp. I always clean my stamps when I'm using those oxides. So what I'm thinking now is this will go here, like so. I keep bending this nail when I'm stamping. And what I'm going to do now is take these houses. I want to use this house stamp. Maybe get an acrylic block this time. So we can use one of them A7 acrylic blocks. And we can ink our stamp. So I'm using black Nocturne ink because that'll make it pop a little bit. And then I'm going to stamp my house. I love these houses. That looks beautiful on that background, absolutely beautiful. So stamp another one. So you could mask these off if you wanted, and you can create these all going along in a row, and that would look really good as well. So 2. Can't remember, I don't really know how many I want. I'm just stamping them just because I'm enjoying stamping them. So we'll just grab another baby wipe. Just stamp that again. I mean, this could be a card in itself, couldn't it? This, using this background, that could be a card in itself with nothing else. I just love how there's a little, the colour's a little bit richer here than it is there. So I'm going to cut these out. Again, nice and easy to cut out. Nothing too complicated. And just sometimes we haven't got hours to create cards. Sometimes we want a bit of creative time and we've only got a short amount of time. So this would be perfect for one of those cards. So I've now got my finger stuck in my scissors. So just add this here. I don't want to cover it all up. Got another one out. So easy to cut out as well. And I like the fact that you've already got your colouring. It's already there for you. So do I want it like that? Or do I want it like that? No, I want it like that. And I like the fact you've got the, so I don't need the third house because you've got this element here plus them two makes 3 elements. So what I'm going to do now is just take, let's just move this out of the houses out of the way. Just take a little bit of black for the ephemera digits. And just add a little bit of black stamping. Just a little bit, nothing too overpowering, but just to bring a little bit of life to our design. So can you see I've got this here and I'm extending the design, I'm extending it a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is just take this and add a little bit more up there. That's it. So bring this down. So we can now adhere that. I love how you can see all the leaves in the background and that we've used the pieces that we had left over. Do you know, since I've been to the studios, this glue has never been the same since the air conditioning. It was absolutely fine until I got to the air conditioning. I think I need a finer glue, a finer needle. Let me just, there we go. Let's just clean that needle. Try to get into good practices. Let's see if that's any better. There we go. Just place that here, like so. Let's grab our Inktense pencil and just go around. So this is just a grey Inktense pencil. You know how much I love my grey Inktense pencil. At least I use it. So just grab a little bit of water. Just blend that out. Just to make it pop a little bit more. Now, if you haven't got a gel press, you could just stamp the leaves in the background like I did the second time. Not on the gel press, that when I did the stamping afterwards. You can create a background like that. Or if you're a little bit nervous of the gel press. But it's so easy to use with those oxides. Really is. So that's blended nicely out there. So then I'm going to add my houses, and shall we give them a little bit of 3D element? So let's put some 3D foam tape. This is definitely sticky 3D foam tape. Let's just add this tape here. You can, if you want, add some of those, that sisal nest, if you wish. Just remove that. Then just decide where I want that. I like the little bit of dimension. It works quite nicely. And you can make this one a little bit higher if you want by adding more foam tape. It's entirely up to you. If you want it a little bit higher than the other one, just add a second layer of foam tape. Just see how you feel when you're making your card. So just a little bit more. Oh, did I pull that off? Yes, I did. Do you like how I'm talking to you? Like you're going to answer me back? I always talk to you like you're here with me. It's just what I do. So that, I've got 2 layers. Let's just move all that. So I've got 2 layers of the foam tape. It just means that it gives it a little bit more height. Like that. That's it. So it just means my houses stand up a little bit more. But can you see that leaf in the background? Doesn't it look fab? Love that leaf in the background. So what I'm going to do now is just around about where the houses are, just add a little bit of this. Yes, spit it out. Inktense pencil, just around the edges, just to give it a little bit more definition. You know what I'm like with this definition. You know I keep going on about it. So just blend that out. It just stands out a little bit more. So they don't get lost in the background then. Just blend that out. Blend it out a little bit more, just so it stands out. So you've got that little bit of shadow. So then you can see you've got that little bit of shadow on there. So let's take the sentiment that's in the same stamp set, which I've put on one side. I love this set. It's got a lovely little butterfly text as well on there, and it's got home is where the heart is. So we're going to stamp this, preferably with the stamps out of the way, Tracy. And what you can do is place this, if you place this onto somewhere where it's got measurements, you can see if you've got it straight. It's just easier to pick up like that with it being such a fine sentiment. I don't want it in orange, so I need another little scrap. Have I got a little scrap of card? Yes, I have. Another little scrap of card. And you don't need to press too hard with these sentiments because they're nice and fine. And I'm going to cut this up. So you don't need to press too hard. It just stamps beautifully. Let's get my... Save that bit of card for tomorrow, like you do, so you don't waste it. There we go. And then I can cut this up. I love little sentiments like these. Now, if you emboss this in white on black card, it'll look fab as well. So that'd look quite nice. Home is where the heart is. Just add that adhesive. Just give it a few seconds just to grab hold. And if you move it like I've just done, just wipe your little bit of glue up. I do love how I can still see the leaves underneath. Absolutely love that. And if you wanted, you could add one of the birds as well to it. You could add the birds to the design if you wanted to. So I'm not going to keep you much longer because I don't want this to be an overcomplicated card. I want you to be able to go upstairs and think, oh, I just feel like half an hour or so creating, although I have to admit sometimes it takes me longer than that to pull my products out. So I've just gone round with my Inktense pencil just to, I do love the background of that leaf stamp. Just go around there. Just blend that out. There we go. Just while I'm waiting, I'll do the next step. We'll just add some white splatters. I had a good one the other day. Which one was that? That was working really well. There we go. So just add some white splatters. And then I was just going to try the wings from the other house. So we've got these wings on this house. Like so. And I want that in white. It's on white card even, rather than on, I don't know what card this is, but I just want that in black and white. I don't want it in, I just want the wings off this house. So you don't have to use them the whole thing. You can just use the wings if you wish. And you can swap the wings round to different houses, whichever you prefer. That's it. So just cut those wings out. Just to add a little quirky touch to my card. You know that I love little quirky touches. There's one. Just cut our next one out. There we go. Just put that there. As per normal, I'm dumping everything everywhere. So just bring this in. So it does help if you can actually see what I'm doing, doesn't it? So just add that butterfly. Just bend its wing a little bit. Then add this one. Like so. Just gives me a little bit of a quirky touch. I always like to look at it through the camera. I always think it looks better when you look at it through the camera. So have I got a black Posca pen? Let's see if we've got a black Posca pen that works. Just to add a few black splatters, just a couple in there. That's it. So just add that. Wipe up your splattering mess, because we know what we like, we all do it. Then I'm going to add that. You would obviously wait for everything to dry. You wouldn't be doing what I'm doing and trying to stick everything down with Posca pen soaking wet. You would wait for that to dry. Let's add that to a black mat. And again, I have to stand up. I just find it easier just to get that looking right. Just find it easier on there. Then I'm going to add that to a white 5x7 card blank. So the actual initially piece of card that I was working on was 4.5 inches by 6.5 inches. And I will just measure that circle for you so that you know that as well. So just add that here. Doesn't matter what you draw around for the circle. I'll just get the tape measure just to measure that circle for you. The circle is 2 3/4 inches. Just think it's nice just to mention that. I bet you know what I'm looking for now, don't you? So I'm just going to add a little embellishment. Now you knew I was going to add an embellishment, didn't you? So I'm just going to add a little heart embellishment, which is one of Tim Holt's Ideology range. Can't pick it up. So I'm just going to add that. Because it says home is where the heart is, I just want to add that heart just below there. Let's just remove some of that glue. Like so. Let me just remove some of that. And what you can see, got that little heart there. You've got the leaves in the background. You can still see the leaves here in the background. You can still see them visible in the background. And you can still see them here, which was the piece we used as extra. I'm quite pleased with that for a quick half-an-hour card. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you give it a try. And I shall see you all soon. Bye for now.